video, I'm rolling with Lawrence again, or as I like to call him, Larry. I don't know why I associate Larry with people that I like, so I call him Larry. So this is our 5th round together. He is a newly minted purple belt. We're all moving downstream together. So there he tried to step by my guard, which is a pass that I love, but I was able to just drop back and defend it by bringing up my knee and pushing off his knee, which is a drill that, see, there it is again. So he tried to pass, I was able to push off his knee and bring my legs back in. So I've watched this several times, and I've rolled with Larry a lot. So we really know each other, and he has a vast knowledge. He has a lot of knowledge, a lot of jiu-jitsu knowledge. The problem is, if I had to analyze it, is he makes some fundamental errors in his entries that prevent him from getting to the rest of his game. So he has a very more complex game when he can get to it. So I try to keep him away from it, but mostly he's keeping himself away from it. And the way he does this is by hand fighting when my knees are still in between. So I've been saying this over and over lately. You want to fight the legs. The man who's passing, the student who's passing wants to fight the legs with both hands. The student on the bottom wants to wrist fight. So the top wants to avoid the wrist fight, the bottom wants the wrist fight. So when the top guy starts wrist fighting with me and my knees are still in between, I feel that there's not much chance of him passing. So there he tried the arm drag, now he's setting up the calf slicer. I pulled his head forward and he had to release it or he would have either face planted or been swept. So I'm starting to learn counters to that pesky calf slicer. So again, wrist fighting, I still have my legs in between. His hands would be much better served on my legs. Also, he's a little bit smaller than me, but very strong. Strong like bull. He is, he also teaches a self-defense class on the side on Sundays for people who don't train so they can stick up for themselves in abusive situations. He's a proficient kickboxer and all-around tough guy. But again, as you can see, we're dancing because I'm holding his hands. See, finally he switched to fighting my legs with his hands and he instantly started to have some success. So he tried to put his knee towards the ceiling to clear my hook, but that left him vulnerable for the shin sweep. So as soon as that shin goes on that angle, I put my shin, as soon as his thigh goes on that angle, I could get a right angle to his thigh with my shin. I'm gonna push my shin into his thigh and sweep him over. And if you want, watch that again, because I watched it several times myself. So it's a great counter to when you're getting your hooks cleared. So here I'm just leaning on him, I'm fighting, 2-on-1 on one of his legs. So I put my knee on the inside a lot because that knee on the inside with my elbow connection will prevent triangles and many attacks, and it'll open up pathways for me to slide through with the knee cut or to the other side to a mount. So here he's grabbing my head. I want to get through these rounds without breathing heavy. And if it means not getting a submission, then so be it. Larry actually approached me in class recently and said I should do more submissions during my rolls for the channel. But that kind of goes against the ethos of the channel. I don't know if I'm using that word correctly. If I have to force the submission, it doesn't give me any satisfaction. So here I'm just resting. His left leg has a zero connection. It's not really a good knee shield there. So I'm just resting because I know there's no attacks coming. Here I'm keeping his left elbow up in the air because I know it's a weak position and I'm experimenting. I'm also looking for a wrist lock on that side, but not a real wrist lock, just feeling it out. So now he's switching sides, he's switching knee shield side. He's trying to sit up, but I stopped him by pushing his bicep back. I'm pushing back whatever's closest to me. He tried to sit up, I pushed back on his neck. Here I'm trying to staple his legs. He almost swept me because I got my arm too deep. There he was looking for a guillotine. And then he fell back to a guard that's not really a guard. He says one butterfly hook that's flat and the right leg's not doing anything. Then he tapped me just now. I thought he tapped. I didn't know. And he was tapping as if to say good exchange. So I thought that was cool. Again, just holding his elbow up in the air, resting. Not breathing heavy, 6 minutes and 45 seconds into the round with someone who's 15 years younger than me.
This arm's free, you could do this arm.
There I gave him some unsolicited mid-roll advice about the triangle, of which I quickly realized I was incorrect. A wise man knows when he's wrong, but more importantly, admits it. If you admit you're wrong, people can forgive you. If you don't admit it, people will resent you. So there he used the make space principle, and I instantly took the space that he made. So now this is what I would consider more of an active guard pass. I'm holding the back of his head with his knee in between because I don't want him to slither away.
Do it, kill me.
So here he's looking for the Kimura. See his left leg? It's not really doing anything. He could push my left knee out. So here he held his hand over my mouth because I do that to people sometimes. And I told him it only works when you're out of breath. It's like that movie where he tells him, the cross only works if you have faith. Who can name that movie? I also have 2 other movie lines in this role between Larry and I. I wonder if anybody can name them. One is a comedic movie, and one is with Arnold Schwarzenegger. So again, see that left foot? He could be kicking my knee out. Instead, it's just floating there.
Okay. Thank you, brother. Thank you, man.
So at the end of that roll, he was trying to pull me in with the arm drag.
Good stuff. Thank you. I've been toying with those wrist locks a lot. Just to they create discomfort, create a little. Exactly.
I give Larry a little advice here.
Really? Oh yeah. I'm so scared to really put them on. Well, you could be incremental.
On wrist locks and phases of pain.
The first phase of severe pain.
Like with the heel hook, the first phase of pain is your knee is separating. There's no pain until it's too late. That's why they're so dangerous.
And you go really slow and incremental and you go tap.
And it's hard to put that pressure on incrementally.
But it's not going to break.
Whereas a wrist lock, I can put incremental pressure very precisely.
No, but listen, just work it.
I love post-roll banter because we're high from the endorphins from rolling, and we're open-minded, our minds are clear, and you can always exchange some good advice back and forth.
Right.
And some honesty. It's almost like being drunk. Here he's telling me I'm good at anticipating, which I say on the higher levels as you grow in the sport, you start to realize it's not really a technique difference, it's an anticipation difference. So there I told him he was a true purple belt. But thank you for watching. If you gain value from this content, I have a spread shop, or you could buy me a coffee. Links are in the description. See you next time.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.